You think you know Earth, but you are profoundly, dangerously wrong. We live our lives on the thin, sun-drenched skin of a planet that is 97% water, yet we treat the ocean as if it were nothing more than a scenic backdrop or a convenient shipping lane. Beneath the rolling, predictable waves lies a realm so alien, so fundamentally hostile to human existence, that we know more about the cratered, desolate surface of the moon than we do about our own ocean floor. It is a silent, crushing darkness that holds secrets we were never meant to disturb, a pressurized void that defies our logic and our fragile biology. Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff, the wind whipping at your hair, but the drop doesn't end for a few hundred feet, it doesn't end for miles. You are looking into an abyss that swallows light, and for all we know, the abyss is looking right back at you, sensing the vibrations of your existence through the liquid medium of its domain. This is not just water, it is a sprawling, liquid graveyard of history and a terrifying breeding ground for horrors that defy everything we know about evolutionary biology. Why are we so obsessed with staring at the distant, frozen stars when this living nightmare is right under our feet? We are going to descend into the cold, crushing pressure of the deep sea, a place where sunlight becomes a myth and survival is a twisted, brutal game of evolution. But that is just the beginning of the madness. Let's talk about the nightmare fuel living in the midnight zone, the bathypelagic layer where the pressure is enough to shatter a standard submarine like a soda can. When you go deep enough, the fish don't look like fish anymore. They lose the streamlined, graceful forms we associate with aquatic life and instead become something out of a fever dream, gaunt, translucent, and jagged. Take the anglerfish, a creature that seems designed by a nightmare. With its bioluminescent lure dangling like a glowing, hypnotic trap in the absolute pitch black, it doesn't just hunt, it waits in the stillness for hours, sometimes days, for a foolish creature to mistake its light for salvation. Its teeth are glass-like needles, backward curving to ensure that once something is caught, there is no hope of escape. Or consider the goblin shark, a relic from the age of dinosaurs, possessing a jaw that literally detaches from its skull to snatch prey with violent, hydraulic speed. These creatures exist in a world of absolute, bone-crushing pressure, where their bodies are essentially jelly held together by sheer force of evolutionary will. If you brought them to the surface, they wouldn't just die, they would disintegrate. It's disturbing, isn't it? We've found things that shouldn't exist, like the giant oarfish, a silver, serpent-like creature that can grow over 30 feet long. When they wash up on shore, they look like sea serpents from ancient mythology, and some researchers argue they are the true inspiration for the monsters that haunted the dreams of ancient mariners. And then something even more disturbing happened. Researchers found species that don't even use photosynthesis. In the deep trenches, life has found a way to bypass the sun entirely. They survive on chemical heat from hydrothermal vents, plumes of toxic, mineral-rich superheated water blasting out of the planet's crust. They aren't living on energy from the sun, they're living on the raw, toxic exhaust of the planet's core. It is a completely different kind of life, a dark, chemical alchemy that suggests life doesn't need a star to thrive. Does it make you wonder what else is down there, evolving in total, silent isolation for millions of years? We have only explored about 5% of the ocean floor. Think about that for a second. 95% of our world is a total, impenetrable mystery. It is a massive, dark void that could be hiding anything, from massive, undiscovered apex predators to entire ecosystems that operate on rules we haven't even begun to categorize. And the sounds? Oh, the sounds are where the true, existential terror starts. In 1997, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration picked up a sound known as the bloop. It was a sound so loud, so low frequency, that it was detected by sensors thousands of miles apart across the Pacific Ocean. It wasn't a whale, because no whale known to science has a vocal apparatus capable of producing such a frequency. It wasn't a tectonic plate shifting or an iceberg carving. The mathematical profile of the sound suggested something organic. It was massive. And it was moving. The sheer scale of the sound implies a creature far larger than any blue whale ever recorded, a behemoth that would make a sperm whale look like a minnow. Can you imagine something that big, lurking in the dark, making a sound that vibrates through the very crust of the Earth? But that wasn't even the weirdest part of our acoustic surveillance. There was the upsweep, a sound that has been repeating for decades, a haunting, spectral wail that rises and falls like a ghost in the machine. And then there isn't the Julia, a sound that sounds hauntingly like a human voice filtered through a deep-sea cavern, distorted and slowed down until it becomes a guttural, terrifying moan. Are these just natural phenomena? Are they the groans of the planet itself? Or are we hearing something that doesn't want to be found, something that communicates in patterns we aren't evolved to comprehend? It is unsettling to think that while we sleep, these sounds are echoing through the depths, passing through the canyons of the abyss. What if the ocean is trying to tell us something, and we are just too arrogant, too caught up in our own noise, to listen? We are intruders in their domain. And the deeper we go, the more the rules of physics seem to break. The ocean has vast, unexplored plains, trenches deeper than Everest is tall, and mountain ranges that dwarf anything on land, hidden beneath a blanket of eternal night. The Mariana Trench is a scar on the planet, a place where the pressure is 8 tons per square inch, enough to turn a human body into a pancake in seconds. We've sent remote probes down there, and what did we find? We found trash. Plastic bags at the deepest point on Earth. Even in the most remote, unreachable corners of the world, our footprint is there, poisoning a mystery we don't even understand. It makes you feel small, doesn't it? It makes you realize that humanity is just a blip, a temporary, chaotic disturbance on a planet that belongs to the deep. And then there are the ships. Ghost ships, lost to time, appearing in sonar scans like phantoms of a forgotten age. Thousands of vessels have vanished without a trace, leaving behind no debris, no bodies, and no explanation. Some were lost to storms, but others? Others just stopped existing. Imagine a ship, fully stocked, crewed, and suddenly, silence. Just an empty hull floating in the middle of nowhere. Are these just accidents of the sea, or are there places in the ocean where reality itself thins out? We hear stories of the Bermuda Triangle, but the truth is, the entire ocean is a graveyard. There are shipwrecks thousands of years old, preserved in the cold, anaerobic mud, untouched by time. They are time capsules of human tragedy, waiting to be found. But do we really want to find them? Some things are better left buried in the silt, undisturbed by our prying eyes. The deeper we go, the more the hidden truths become clear. We are not the masters of this planet. We are merely guests on the surface. What if there are civilizations down there, living in the thermal vents, shielded from our noise and our ego? It sounds like science fiction, but biology is stranger than fiction. We have found zombie worms that eat bone and giant squids that fight whales in the dark. If we can find that, what else is hiding? Maybe a predator that hasn't been seen since the dawn of time, or something even more intelligent. It's a chilling thought. We look up at the stars hoping for a signal, but we ignore the vast, alien world right here. The ocean is not just water, it's a barrier. It keeps us safe from the things that don't belong to the surface. But we keep pushing. We keep drilling. We keep diving. And eventually, we're going to find something we can't explain. And when that happens, the world as we know it will change forever. It's a terrifying prospect, but it's the reality of our existence. We are surrounded by an infinite, dark, and hungry unknown. And the worst part? We're not even close to understanding it. We think we've conquered the world, but we haven't even scratched the surface of the deep. Every time a submarine goes down, it's a gamble. Every time a sonar ping returns an anomaly, it's a mystery. We are living in a house with a basement we're too afraid to open. And maybe, just maybe, that's for the best. Because there are things in the depths that make our darkest nightmares look like childhood dreams. And those things have been there for eons, watching, waiting, and evolving. You think you're safe? You're just miles away from a world that doesn't care about your laws, your science, or your existence. It's a cold, dark, and indifferent abyss. And it's growing. The ocean is the final frontier, and it's a frontier that bites back. We've mapped the seafloor, but we haven't touched the life within it. We have no idea what the true population of the deep is. We have no idea how they communicate. We have no idea what their goals are. It's a hidden empire, and we're just the ants on the surface. Consider the sheer scale of the hydrostatic forces at play. At the bottom of the Challenger Deep, the weight of the water above is equivalent to an elephant standing on your thumb. Yet, life persists. It thrives. These organisms have adapted to conditions that would liquefy human bone. If life can adapt to that, what kind of sensory systems have they evolved? They don't need eyes to see light, they have evolved to sense electricity, to detect the heartbeat of a prey item from miles away through the water column. They are masters of their environment in a way we will never be. When we drop our metal probes and our cameras into the abyss, we are like children throwing pebbles into a dark, bottomless well, hoping to hear a splash but hearing only the silence of something much larger than us. We speak of the ocean as if it were a resource to be harvested, a place for our fishing fleets and our oil rigs. But the ocean is a living, breathing entity. It is a massive, heat-distributing engine that regulates our climate, and it is currently struggling under the weight of our interference. As the water warms, the chemistry of the deep changes. We are altering the very foundation of the abyss, and we have no idea what the consequences will be. Will the creatures of the deep rise? Will they flee? Or will they simply continue to evolve into something even more resilient, even more terrifying? The ocean is the largest habitat on Earth, and it is largely empty of human influence, which is exactly why it is so frightening. It is the last place on this planet where humans are not the dominant species. Think about the history of the deep. For billions of years, the ocean has been the cradle of life. Everything that crawled out onto land, everything that built cities and invented the internet, started as a microscopic organism in the primordial soup of the ocean. We are the children of the sea, and we have turned our backs on our progenitor. We look at the ocean and see only the surface, the waves, the salt, and the blue. We don't see the depth. We don't see the crushing, freezing, absolute darkness that stretches downward like a throat waiting to swallow the world. We are living in a state of willful ignorance. So, the next time you look at the horizon, remember, you're looking at a lid over a pot of boiling, dark, and ancient secrets. And one day, that lid might just come off. Are you ready for what comes out? Or would you rather stay in the dark, safe in your ignorance? The choice is yours, but the mystery remains. It's time to stop looking up and start looking down. The truth is deep, it's cold, and it's waiting. There are still countless mysteries left to discover, and they are not waiting for us to find them, they are waiting for us to become irrelevant. The abyss does not forgive, and it certainly does not forget. It is the silent judge of our species, and it has been watching us for a very, very long time. Are you prepared to look into the darkness, knowing that the darkness is looking back at you? The deep sea is not just a place, it is a destiny. It is the final, ultimate conclusion of our fragile existence on this blue marble. The ocean is not our friend. It is not our servant. It is the master of this world, and we are merely guests who have overstayed our welcome. The secrets of the deep are not meant to be uncovered, and yet, we persist. We continue to descend. We continue to probe. And one day, the ocean will answer. And when it does, the world as we know it will end, and the reign of the surface will be over. Stay curious, stay cautious, and for the love of all that is holy, stay away from the edge of the abyss. Because once you see what's down there, you can never, ever look at the ocean the same way again. The truth is deeper than you can imagine, and it is colder than death itself. The deep is calling, and eventually, we will all have to answer.